Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
I wonder why nobody don't like me. Is it the fact that I'm ugly? I wonder why nobody don't like me. Or is it the fact that I'm ugly? I leave me whole house and go. Well, me children don't want me no more. They curses in black and white and ting. And when I talk on them, they start to sing. Mama, look up, boo-boo. They shout. The mother told them, hush up your mouth. That is your daddy. Oh, no. My daddy can be ugly, so hush your mouth, go away. Mama, look at you, booty. Hush your mouth, go away. Mama, look at you, booty.
Good morning and welcome to Guardian Radio AM. Today is Thursday, April 27th, and it's a little after 11 o'clock in the morning. Once again, this is C.A. Newry, and I shall be your host today as we make space for people who are doing big things, big events, right? Today I have Miss Carleen Smith-McKenzie, who is here from St. Matthew's Church, right? And she's a part of the usher board. She's a big thing in the usher board. And I say, what y'all doing at St. Matthew's Church? And then she's going in detail. And I said, no. Come. I want to hear about this. I grew up in St. Matthew's Church. That's the wife's church. At least it used to be the wife's church until she had us matriculate to St. Anne's Church. But when you once Anglican, this is part of the family. So I said, I want to know what y'all doing. Just now you were hearing a song by my uncle Lancelot Haven, who was once upon a time a famous calypsonian in the Bahamas. And I say, hey, let me make space for him too, because he was doing big things. In fact, at one point in time, he immigrated to the United States, where he grew up basically until he died recently, and where he became a small-time movie star. He auditioned for shows against Sidney Poitier and had some small roles here and there. And he went through that same event of washing dishes and becoming a butler for famous people in Los Angeles and stuff like that. But he, like I said, he was a famous calypsonian inside the Bahamas. And that particular song, every time I hear it, I smile. Saying that Bahamians had great talent. And I belong to a family who has great talent. So I just want to play that and give him tribute and to remember him and to let him know that he was loved. And he has continued to be loved. And remember, that's my wife, uncle, the full family, Lancelot Haven. Let me continue. Miss Carleen, Thank you very much for coming on the show.
And thank you so much for having us today.
Good. So about, firstly, St. Matthew's, where it's at, right? And what is this usher board, what you're all doing? And why are you having an event?
Yes. So St. Matthew's Church is located on Church and Shirley Street. So if you recall, it's the oldest church building here in New Providence. And this year we'll be celebrating our 221st anniversary.
220 years that building has been up.
Yes, from 1802. And so the building is on the corner of Church and Shirley Streets. And our usher board, we'll be celebrating our 38th anniversary this year as well. And so we've been around since 1985. And so, yes. So if you recall some of the history of our church, you may know that we are known as the Ark and the Pond.
Ark and the Pond? I did not know that.
Ark and the Pond, yes. So
and why is that?
I don't know.
You don't know? What do you know the Ark? But I know where the pond is.
So we are the Ark and the Pond.
And the pond used to flood.
Back in the day, looking at the many churches in the area, St. Matthew's was the parish church for the area of the pond. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of persons who lived in that area would have attended St. Matthew's Church. And so we are having a fundraiser this year to refurbish our parish hall. Our parish hall building is also an old building, and we've had some renovations done to it years back, but now we're trying to do some work on the inside of the parish hall, such as the upgrade to the wooden floor. The floor that's in there is the original wood floor on one side, and the other side is the tile area. And then we're looking to paint inside of the parish hall, and then to install a projector, a projector screen, as well as sound equipment. And this is no cheap task. It will cost us about $15,000. So we're looking to raise $15,000 this year from the Usher Board. And our Usher Board is a very special organization in the church. We have over 70 members on our Usher Board, and we are committed to serving the church, greeting, hosting persons, and we are looking to raise this money so that we can do these refurbishments to the hall.
And this event is going to be in charge by the usher.
So the Usher Board, yes, we are hosting a bingo blast.
Bingo blast.
A bingo blast. So it'll be a night of fun for the entire family, that is. And we'll be hosting a bingo event in which we have lots of prizes. We have household items, we have cosmetics, we have small appliances, pot sets. Anything you can think of, we have as a prize. And what we don't have as a prize for the bingo, we have as a prize for our hoopla table as well.
I've been to St. Matthew's bingo years ago. My uncle Prince,
Yes.
Prince Pratt.
Prince Pratt, yes.
He used to say all the numbers. It used to be a big event. I mean, packed
Yes.
galore. You couldn't find any parking space. The prizes were good prizes where people brag about it. Say, see what I won at St. Matthew's Church.
Yes,
Is this
yes.
going to be like a packed event where people excited and getting some big
Yes,
prizes?
we
again?
hope that it will indeed be a packed event. We had a bingo night late last year, and it was on the basketball court, and we had no space. And so tonight it will be in our parish hall, though. So we're not tonight.
No, just
tomorrow
continue.
night.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow
Let's
night.
set the date. Let's set the date so people understand
So
which
Friday, April
20
in our parish hall on Church Street. We'll be having our bingo night. Our entry fee is $5, but
write
with
that down.
that comes a free complimentary bingo card. And then you can play the bingo games. We're starting our games at $1 per game. So then you can play your bingo games, and you'll have a chance to win many, many, many prizes. And during the course of the night, we'll be selling refreshments. We have food, drinks, comforters, snacks for the children, games for the children. So we want everybody to come out and be a part of this effort that we have to raise funds for the refurbishment of our parish hall.
Will Cousin Annie be making fritters? Because I know she makes some good fritters.
Not Cousin Annie, but Cousin Derica.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Cousin Drake will be there.
Yes,
Okay, good.
Yes.
Good.
At 6:30 p.m. sharp, we'll begin our calling of our bingo numbers.
Okay. And you
Yes.
said it's a family event.
Yes.
My child.
Yes.
My child loves bingo.
Oh, so I hope that you'll be there.
Okay, so can I send her with money and say, go and bring us some stuff home?
Definitely. Entry is $5. If you want to donate, if you cannot come out but you want to donate, you can call the church's office at 323-8220 or 322-3259, and we'll be sure to take your donation towards the efforts of the church.
Yes. And St. Matthew's, remind me who is the rector of St. Matthew's now.
So Canon Basiltines is our rector, and our curate is Father Scott Chop. Our president of our usher board is Milo Keith Strawn, and our fundraising chair is Mrs. Kenya Micklewhite.
Yes, I know Miss Micklewhite.
Yes.
Right? I know St. Matthew's tend to serve the community.
Yes.
Especially with their breakfasts and making sure the elderly in the community is engaged and that participates in the church and with the affairs. Is that still happening?
Yeah, so we still have a soup kitchen that goes on. The daycare center is not as active as it used to be, but there is a soup kitchen, and there are opportunities for us to do social outreach to persons who come to the church needing assistance. And then that's one of the things the parish hall is used for, not only for hosting of events by our organizations, but the many community and social outreach initiatives that happen by the church are held in the parish hall. And so this is one of the reasons why we need to upgrade. We need to get to a point where the church, everything is in order. And so that's why it's so important that we have this fundraiser to put those funds towards that.
Okay. So if especially for the Anglican community.
Yes.
And if they just want to donate some money because they understand what St. Matthew's does, how important the church is,
Yes.
who can they call? What what number can they call? Just do that again.
Yes, so the church's numbers are 323-8220 or 322-3259. Our parish, Mrs. Sharon Ferguson, you can speak to her. And you can also reach out to one of the usher board members, my contact, 424-0099, and we'll be happy to accept your donation.
Yeah, nice. And I get a caller. I'm going to bring that caller in. And I grew up Baptist, right?
Okay.
And I know that your usher board, the Anglican usher board, is slightly different. Just tell me about what activities does the usher board or responsibility does?
Yes, so with respect to the usher board, we are the first persons to greet you when you enter the church. And so when you enter our church, we have ushers at the entrances of the church who give you a smile, ensure that you have a bulletin, ensure that you undergo sanitization with respect to COVID-19, and then we seat you at your respective seat in the church. During the service, we are responsible for collection, taking up the collection. We are responsible for collection sides, and we're responsible for ensuring that persons are just comfortable. If there's a need in the church for somebody to get water, somebody may need assistance with their child, anything like that, we as the usher board are responsible for that.
Yes. So let me engage this caller, right?
Yes.
Producer, patch the caller through there. Go ahead, caller. Garden Radio.
Hello, good day.
Good day, how you doing?
Mr. Newry and again.
Good day.
Wonderfully, wonderfully. My number is G96.9 bingo.
Oh, bingo!
So I'm an early winner, but I just called. I was listening to the ladies there, and she said that the church happens to be the oldest building in terms of a church in Nassau, and it was called the Ark of the Pawn, right?
Yes.
And I just wanted to let her know that the Ark means leader of the pawn. It's like the archangel, the head of the angels, you see? And that is why they call it the Ark in the pawn. It means it's the leader in that area.
Nice.
Or
nice.
the oldest in the area.
Nice. I appreciate that.
Yes.
And St. Matthew's has so much history, and that their edifice and the church itself means a lot to the Bahamas. And it's great to see that the church is thriving. It's great to see that the various ministries are working to enhance the church. And it's great to see that the usher board, right? The usher board is leading the charge for this this issue or need. Who's the head of the usher board right now?
Yes, Milo Keats Strawn is our president. Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
And I just want to give a shout out to Milo and for sending this great representative to explain what is happening tomorrow, and right? And how you reached out to the other Anglican usher board to say, hey, we having this event? Because I know Anglicans tend to support other Anglicans.
Yes. So we have ensured that invitation letters have been sent to the other churches, and so we hope that you too will be able to support us tomorrow evening.
Nice. I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm making a commitment to come.
Okay,
right?
thank you.
I'm feeling lucky, right? I could do with another TV or another bedspread, So I'm
Yes.
excited about that.
Yes.
excited
And many
about it.
people like to say, I don't want to come because I don't never win anything. But it's not all about winning sometimes. Just think about the greater good of this event, which is to support the church, to support our refurbishment efforts.
Nice. I'm excited. So I anticipate a good turnout.
Yes.
Right? And you said again, it's at 6:30 sharp. The ball started rolling.
6:30 p.m. sharp.
It'll be conch fritters, and one of my cousins is going to be in charge of that, making sure it's conch fritters.
Yes,
And
conky.
conch fritters. And that besides the entertainment of having a chance to win prizes in order to restore and renovate the parish hall, there will be food there.
Food for sale, yes.
Huh?
Food and drinks for
And
sale.
food and drinks for sale.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
excited. But I'd like to thank you for tuning in and coming in.
Yes.
Carlene, for this. I know I also have the autism awareness persons coming in today, Reach Bahamas, so I'm excited that they will be coming on. But I wanted you to give the opportunity to explain the great and the wonderful things that is happening at St. Matthew's Church.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
No, man, you're good.
Yes,
You're good. That's
yes.
the home church. I mean, almost every day, everyone there is Francis. So I understand. I understand. But we'll go to commercial now. And I just wanted, before you go, just give us the dates and the time and for the event again.
Yes, Friday, April 28, 2023. Tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m., St. Matthew's Anglican Church Parish Hall on Church Street, which is the street leading to the old tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. And thank you very much. And come producers, let's take us out with Uncle Lance again. But that's some music. Thanks again.
You see how Cora eye look funny, all black up yesterday?
But she say she bumped into a wall when she's running after the churn them.
Yeah, but last Saturday you see her arm was all black and blue, right?
What you saying? You think something wrong between her and Jack?
I ain't sure, but you know Jack is a jealous man. I hear him and Cora last Friday. I hear him say he hear Cora have eyes for Junior.
Now you know that ain't true. Cora is a good woman, does mind her business, take care of them churn, and go to church every Sunday. So what you think we should do?
I think we should report Jack, you know. Cora don't say nothing, but silence hides violence, and we don't want to line up in the cemetery.
Not me. I ain't getting in nobody business. Then Jack come after me and I land up next to Cora.
No, man, we could call a text crime stopper. And remember, we can even get some grocery money for our tip.
Remind me again, how does this work?
We can call them in Miami at 328-TIPS or 328-8477. Or when we in the island, call toll free at 300-TIPS or 300-8477. And if you don't have no minutes, use the Crack Crime Bahamas app and we could text them. And the messages get on mix up before it leave your phone so nobody can know what you saying.
So what we waiting on then? Let's go earn some grocery money.
After a brief layoff, Fish Fry Fridays is back in the big carnival month. The Big Band Passage will get you in the mood for the Big Carnival Road March in the streets of Nassau. That's right, it's the pre-carnival edition of Fish Fry Fridays, May 5th at Margaritaville, downtown Nassau. Featuring Visage and DJ Els from the Euphoria Madness Masquerade Band, modeling their costumes that will be on the road for Carnival. Fish Fry Fridays is back May 5th. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. $25 general admission. $55 buffet and party. Don't miss Fish Fry Friday. Back with the pre-carnival edition.
My mommy made sure that I was vaccinated because she loves me.
Getting our precious little ones vaccinated protects them from so many diseases like polio, measles, and whooping cough. Vaccines are safe and effective. Immunizations can prevent illnesses and even death. As we celebrate our 50th year of independence, let's move forward to protecting ourselves and each other from vaccine-preventable diseases, upward to achieving the highest vaccination rates in the region, and onward to a safer, healthier Bahamas. We can achieve this together. In New Providence, Elizabeth Ann Town Clinic, Flamingo Gardens Clinic, Elizabeth Estate Clinic, or if you're in the Family Island Clinic, visit any of your routine vaccination clinics for vaccines. COVID-19 vaccines are also available. This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and USAID.
Brother, he like his skunk and fish, he can't bother with the meat. He chewed them bones so hard, and he break out all his teeth. Oh, why? Akaracha kunna shimama, skunk ain't got no bone. Akaracha kunna shimama, skunk ain't got no bone. Oh, Akaracha kunna shimama, skunk ain't got no bone. Oh, Akaracha kunna shimama, skunk ain't got no bone. Akaracha kunna shimama, skunk ain't got no bone. Akaracha kunna shimama, skunk ain't got no bone. I went to a place the other day to get myself some sauce. Me chew so much bone, me swallow a spoon, me forgot me had a mouth. Oh, why? Akaracha kunna shimama, skunk ain't got no bone. Say, Akaracha kunna shimama, skunk ain't got no bone. Once again, it's Akaracha kunna shimama, skunk ain't got no bone. Akaracha kunna shimama, skunk ain't got no bone. Give give me fish, me guinea corn grits to devil with the meat. When you see the dentist, I'll be contented having all my teeth. Oh, Akaracha kuna shimama, come gay, got no bone to say. Akaracha kuna shimama, come gay, got no bone. Akaracha kuna shimama.
And welcome back to Garden Radio in the AM with C.A. Newry. I supposed to have an interview with Reach Bahamas, and they're actually late. It's our autism awareness group. But I want to give the information that they were coming in to give. Tomorrow, Reach Bahamas is having a walkathon, right? Reach Bahamas is having a walkathon for autism awareness, right? And hopefully they're on their way here, or they can call in, and so they can give us more information about that. But in the meanwhile, we can talk about the orange economy, and I have some people coming on next week to talk about the orange economy and the opportunity that gives. And I know that this administration has made a number of commitments in regards to what can be accomplished. And I'm seeing that the persons that reached just sent me a WhatsApp of the program for tomorrow. Registration for the walkathon is $25, which includes it's going to walkathon. It's going to be from Montague Park to the Sydney Poitier Bridge and over the bridge and over the Paradise Island Bridge and back. So that's going to be from Montague Park. Then they're going to walk to over Sydney Poitier Bridge onto Paradise Island, right? And then they're going to walk back to Montague Beach. And this is going to be on Saturday. This is going to be this Saturday, April 29th. Saturday, April 29th. And it's going to be starting at 6 a.m., right? 6 a.m. in the morning. And for more information regarding the registration, right, the number is 328-4123, 328-4123, right? And we've had the persons at Reach Bahamas come on the show before to explain the activities and the things there and challenges and the things they're going through dealing with autism, right? And the resources they're taking advantage of, right? And I want to explain what Reach is, right? Reach is resources and education for autism and related challenges, right? And it's a great program. And so definitely I'm going to take advantage and register for this event. And this event, again, is $25, which includes a shirt. It's going to be on Saturday, April 29th, 2023. It starts at 6 a.m. The walkathon will start from Montague Beach Park towards Sir Sidney Poitier Bridge, then over the bridge onto Paradise Island, then you come back down the bridge and walk back to Montague Park. Again, for more information regarding that, it'll be you call the number 328-4123. And of course, you can also visit the website, which is autismbahamas.com. That's autismbahamas.com, or reach autismbahamas at Yahoo. You can email them for more information. And also to lend a hand and support. We know that from previous shows, there are a number of persons, particularly young individuals who are dealing with autism. They have a number of support groups with parents who have to deal with children on the spectrum, right? And these fundraisers it enables them to put on activities and render support for persons dealing with autism, living with autism, thriving with autism, and also to give support to parents in terms of having resources on how to best take care of their children. So definitely, if you have a chance, reach out to these persons and support them in their efforts and go out and have a fun walk with them. But let's go back to the orange economy and trying to understand that, right? And you can always call me 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. And of course, on the Family Islands, 242-300-5720. And we can talk about what we anticipating that the orange economy means to Bahamians. And like I said, I'm arranging a show of persons who will come in and talk about their different sphere, their genre, how they think they can partner with the government to promote their industry, promote their efforts, and to see how it coincides with tourism and how it coincides with Ministry of Culture. Right? Because I have ideas, right? One of the ideas I have is to have a chorale competition. And this chorale competition will have a cappella type singing, right? Where I had it thinking about high schoolers, or primary school too, similar to the Clement T. Bethel festivities that they had last month and competition, right? This will create a sub-industry, a support for Ministry of Tourism, where they are able to have song competitions in the schools, and with the song competition have sponsored by civil society and sponsored by Corporate Bahamas, right? Where they get prizes, first, second, third prizes by donations given by Corporate Bahamas. These schools and students are able to create a sub-industry where they can be performance artists and perform at various festivals on the Family Island and locally, right? So I'm hoping that is one of the things that our government is able to support. And I think we need more persons with ideas on how to bring that about. I also have an idea even in regards to poetry. I know that Aaron and I had a number of shows regarding poetry as we give our poetry giveaway, right? And then last month being as we celebrate, I was thinking that perhaps the government can create concepts where persons who can create productions, poetry productions in terms of hosting events, they can create a spot where Bahamian poets and invited guests can have festivals, invited international festivals where people can perform. But also there's a need to have themed poetry where we highlight and celebrate our culture, where the establishments set the theme and say, well, this is the type of poems or the subject matter that we want to be discussed, especially highlighting Bahamian history and Bahamian events. And instead of having open house poetry where Bahamian poets are just read on anything, that we can capture particular events in word. So I'm hoping that this is one of the things that we too do regarding the orange economy. And so I'm excited about that. Yesterday they had a show on Guardian Radio, not the Guardian Radio, our sister radio show there, 96. Hot 106. The name gone for me. That's bad. That's not good. Where they spoke about the orange economy and different aspects of it and how the Ministry of Culture and Tourism can benefit from it. And like I said, I want to springboard from that, right? And invite even the musicians, right? To speak on how they can best serve the Bahamas, because the musicians' frustration, especially, we no longer know what is our official music right now inside the Bahamas. I know recently we named sailing as our national sport, but what is our national music? When I was growing up, the national music was calypso. And if someone could correct me if I'm wrong and call in and tell me if that's true. But I remember calypso being the national music. And then at one time, circa 1992 or so, I assumed that it changed from calypso to junkanoo. So I think junkanoo is now the official music of the Bahamas. I know there are some musicians who are making overtures to have that change to rake and scrape, right? Because rake and scrape is a culture by itself. It tells a tale, a narrative about living. For example of that is when you having combustion, when you having discord. There's a famous rake and scrape song, Bohemian Rake and Scrape. Mommy don't want no raking and scraping in here. She wants order. So rake and scrape, there are musicians who are lobbying that this explains Bahamian psyche, the ethos. So that would be a good way to celebrate the Bahamas during our 50th celebration by, again, naming, and maybe too late for this, right? But naming the official music of the Bahamas and having competition based on that. I see that the 50th anniversary secretariat, right? It is hosting a song competition. And part of that, hosting the song competition, I think that the end of that is going to be for next month. As hosting the song competition, they mentioned that the song must be Gumbe. And I remember having a debate and exchange with Fred Ferguson online, asking, what is Gumbe? I know that we have history on the word Gumbe and Jumbe, and then there is the celebration of the Gumbe festival. But Gumbe too is a sound, a music, right? And that too needs to be investigated and celebrated. And I think that modern Bahamians are unfamiliar with the term Gumbe or unfamiliar with the song or the sound of Gumbe. And moving forward, we need a Bahamian music historian whose job it is to perhaps define what is Bahamian music. And that's a broad statement too, because Bahamian music is music done by Bahamians. But again, there is a Bahamian sound. And that Bahamian sound can be explored by, there's something called Gumbe, there's something called junkanoo, and there is something called rake and scrape. 3 different genres of Bahamian music. But there needs to be a defining of what are the characteristics of these sounds, and then a promotion of these sounds. I'm a proponent of having anthem musics, songs that you sing loud, right? Songs that you sing loud as a chant and rehearse. I'm hoping that for the 5th Bahamian songs, where Bahamians are able to celebrate their music, right? So, and all of this is a part of the orange economy. I know Nico Bethel is working with her troupe of artisans, actors, and promoting that, and she has committed to having 50 different plays play on, and that's exciting, and you see it being promoted, and Bahamian people have turned out. But 50 different plays throughout the time between then and the 50th, for the rest of the year, I guess, for the 50th anniversary of the Bahamas. And that is doing a tremendous job there, and I want to commend her on her efforts. And I think that the secretariat has also partnered with her, and to make sure that this has come out and that Bahamians knows about it and that she's getting support. But that too is part of the orange economy and ways on seeing how Bahamians can benefit from it, get access to it in terms of having commerce. I know that the Minister of Tourism was networking with persons in the United States, in New York, Broadway, to have them come and partner with local acting troops, right? Where they can exchange and get the experience and see where stage play can go, right? So that's some exciting news. I'm not sure where that went and how far that went through, but I know that the minister was working on that, excited for it, right? And moving forward in terms of service in the orange economy, this will be what is expected of the Bahamas, right? And we see that a number of cruise lines is saying, hey, more things need to be done. They need to have a more, what I call Bahamiana celebration, right? Where people who come to the Bahamas for tourism is able to experience a Bahamian uniqueness culture coming here. And this is where we're moving forward. And then hopefully our government is able to support persons who are interested in doing that. But it's not just necessary or just sponsoring these people, but creating avenues that and awareness that this is even possible, that a career in the orange economy is possible. And I'm not sure necessarily that Bahamians are aware of how they can make this possible for them, right? Oh, I guess I got another text from the persons at Reach Bahamas saying that they also have a raffle, right, with prizes. And it's going to be drawn on Saturday also at the Walkathon. So I just want to mention that there is a raffle that you can take advantage of also. So you can call that scene number 328-4123 and to participate in the raffle. They have some good prizes I'm looking at. And all this is in aid of Reach annual fundraiser. And it's an annual fundraiser where, like I said, they use the funds to reinvest in the activities they're doing for their autism awareness. So I just say thank you very much for sending me that, and I'm glad to read that online. But continuing with the conversation about the orange economy and the possibilities, right? I think there is a disconnect with Bahamians understanding what is the orange economy and where it can go, right? The opportunities and the future of the Bahamas tourism and the future of the Bahamas cultural events, right? That the orange economy will be the place to go, right? But I think that there is a need, a more like an educational platform explaining what the orange economy is, explaining to Bahamians how they can access funds and investment to explore their talents regarding the orange economy. I know that we have a number of artisans, especially in Havres, etc., and storytellers, because storytellers is a new market now. And we just need to have Bahamians writing and producing as much as possible, right? And so this is one of the things we do. I see the phone line is blinking. So producer, patch that caller through. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM.
Good morning, Mr. Newry. How you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Listen, do you know what confuses me sometimes? It seems like the Bahamian people, after 50 years of so-called independence, we still searching to find out who Bahamians are. We keep calling all these different economies, and most of the people don't even know what these different colors are all about. What's the orange economy? You ask them to describe that to you. Most of them I ask, they don't even know what is orange economy. Other than that, we keep trying to say, well, what is our national sport? We just found out that sailing is our national sport after 50 years because some group got together and declared that without consulting the people of the country. The other day, we had a gentleman by the name of Edmund Moxie, where the National Insurance Building is now. He had a good idea, I think, back there when we had Jumbe Village. It was a place where Bahamian could go and see artisans, events, different the culture of the Bahamian people, almost on a daily basis. The tourists used to come over the hill to Jumbe Village. And look what they did. Our own Bahamian killed that idea. We had songs about Jumbe Village, killed the idea, and it was a beautiful cultural event in an over-the-hill area stop the tourists from coming over the hill, tore down the whole site thing that was built by Edward Marks and the people of the Grove, whoever the Bahamian people were, and built the National Insurance Building there, where they could have put the National Insurance Building anywhere in New Providence. So what are we really doing? We still trying to find ourselves, and we say independent. Who are the Bahamians?
But let's talk about the way forward, Sparky. And I
But
appreciate
how do we go forward when we still trying to find ourselves?
And let's engage. And you ask, how do we go forward? Right? There needs to be a census, for lack of a better word, or evaluation of who we are. Right?
Yeah,
you mentioned that.
I agree with you, Mr.
And let me engage you.
We don't
one minute, Sparky.
The Bahamian people.
Sparky, 1 minute.
Okay.
We see that Bahamians have a thirst for culture, and Bahamians have a thirst for history. Anytime I have a history show, people call in like crazy, wanted to know more, right? People love knowing from whence they came. So there's a market for that, right? So as we plan this orange economy, we must first service ourselves to create a market amongst ourselves where Bahamians say, I want to be satisfied by that part of the orange economy. Either that's through storytelling, music, poetry, recitation. Because I know when you grew up, you had to do recitations, I'm sure, as part of your school curriculum. Right? So we know about Edmund Moxie. We know about his Jumbe village. And the question now is there space for a new Jumbe village, right? If there is space or desire for a new Jumbe village, how do we make that happen? That should be the conversation instead of bashing the then government on what didn't happen. The idea is there a need for a Jumbe village now, at this present time in our history?
Yes, but don't you agree that this is the time when we really need this, where we go and we consult the people rather than we put people down there to represent us, and anytime they get an idea or they have nothing else to do, 38 or 39 people come and say, oh, we could do this, and then when the next 39 people come every 5 years, oh, we can stop, review, and cancel that. We can start something next, unless we get a national plan. Hey, this would be all decided, or we consulted the people of the country. For example, when we consulted the people of the country with the gambling, right? We asked the people of the country, do y'all want gambling in your country? We said no. The government came back and said, no, that was just a censor.
And mind you, Sparky, 1 minute again, and I'm happy to engage you because we're talking orange economy, but I want us to stay focused. I know in the past we made one or two mistakes. I agree. Some things didn't go. But the idea now is, what do we do to move forward now, and particularly using the chariot, the mechanism of the orange economy to include more Bahamians? You mentioned Jumbe Village, right, by Edmund Moxie. It was something nostalgia that it evoked a passion to you that you felt the need to call. I'm asking you, why do you think there's a need for that at this present time? And what kind of emotions does it evoke out of you?
Well, why I think it's important to me at this time is because I see our country going in a way that, to me, it scares me for the future of our children. Because I see we're not consulting the Bahamian people as to say, where do we want to go, us? Not where foreigners want to tell us we should go and follow them. We need to start discussing things with, this is what I believe, we need to start discussing things with the Bahamian people, rather than every other couple of months, some group of people in front room or patio and decided they was going to do something and come to us and tell us, hey, we can do this. As of next month, we can do this. To me, right now, I tell you, I've been here from the beginning of independence. At 22, I stood out in the grape tree on the north side of that field, and I knew at that time we was headed to the first world. We were all up in arms. We were gusto and ready to go. Education was the key in this country. Entertainment was flying high. Nightclubs for one end of the army. People had places to go and events to do. There's nothing to do in this country now that go to work and go home. Our children can't even, the future don't even look like they can be able to afford to buy a piece of land to build a home. And we don't seem to be worried about that. All we wonder about is when is the next hotel in Gulf Coast going to be built.
Okay,
give us jobs.
Okay, thank you very much, Sparky. Let me
Thank you,
respond.
man.
Yeah, man. I'm glad that you called and that was a good run, right? Sparky mentioned that there's nothing to do in the Bahamas. And I said, that's a farce. There's all kinds of things to do in the Bahamas. I was told once, I personally believe that per square mile, the Bahamas is the most historic country per square mile in the world. In walking distance, you can experience all kind of cultural activities and historic activities, right? We have the hotel, I mean, it's closed now. We need to have government lobby the Chinese to find out why the British Colonial Hotel is still closed. That particular hotel has hosted kings, queens, dignitaries from around the world, right? Hosted presidents, right? That is historic by itself. Flagler came and built that. That is historic by itself. There can be a narrative for that. Our house, I think, was built in 1728. Someone could call and correct me on that, right? One of the oldest parliamentary buildings in this hemisphere is historic, right? That I think moving forward that it needs to be turned into a museum, and that Parliament needs to find a different place to be, right? That we just need to now decide where we want to go. Sparky also mentioned that there has not been enough consultation. And I agree with him with that, especially regarding our 50th Independence Day celebration. Perhaps there should have been more consultation. And I mean, they're doing a yeoman's job in terms of what all they are doing. But as we march towards 50 and as we celebrate we self, right? More Bahamians need to be involved in the celebration. There needs to be events happening in Fox Hill, in Gambia, and there needs to be support to local communities saying, I know that you want to participate and you may not know how to participate, so let me send you emissaries on who will teach you what you all can do. And so we can have independence celebrations over the hill or far west or far east. So perhaps that moving towards July, perhaps that is the next step. Perhaps we need to hear more about the Family Islands and what they're doing to celebrate our independence celebration, right? And have them involved. So yes, I could empathize with Sparky in terms of communication, right? And that communication moving forward and involved is needed, especially when we consider the orange economy and how Bahamians can benefit from the orange economy, right? But there needs to be an evaluation of who and what we are, and then an evaluation of where we are going, and then a buy-in by the Bahamian people saying, I see what you're trying to do, government. I believe in what you're trying to do, government, and I will partner with you moving in that direction. And then government needs to facilitate it for those Bahamians who don't have the funds or who do not have the expertise, right? To say that we have various entities within government already existing, that we can go and have the resources and move forward building this orange economy, right? And of course, there needs to be an evaluation for our main street, which is Bay Street, right? Our tourism products need to be more than just sun, sand, and sea. And it needs to be more than just shops. It's supposed to be about experiences. But producer, I see we soon go, but the patch this caller on now so we can get them to engage. Go ahead, caller. Can you hear me? Caller?
Hello, Newry.
This Newry, go ahead.
Good. I still waiting on you to answer to give an answer to Sparky, because Sparky basically said everything what you were saying just now. Sparky, we ain't got nothing to do. You see, we have lost our culture. We have lost all of that. You understand? It ain't open. You can't go to Tree Queens no more. You can't go to the Nassau Stadium to get peas and rice and boiled fish and thing no more. All you do stand up on the side road, you get yourself some griot and some Jamaican food.
But there are restaurants on Bay Street, Bahamian restaurants. One just opened up on Parliament Street, the most beautiful Bahamian. I think
we're not just open up.
I guess like almost a year now during COVID. There's a beautiful restaurant. You go on Parliament Street opposite the Parliament House. You see that's a huge Bahamian restaurant.
We ain't talking about the 1 out of 100 but just open up, you know.
No,
we're talking about where we came from and where we needed, like Sparky say, where we should have been at this stage. But see what happened, the leaders that we sent to the House of Assembly become so educated and so uppity overnight, they are afraid of their own shadow.
It's 12 o'clock now. You should call earlier because I would have engaged you on this, man. It's a good topic. But anyway, Guardian Radio in the AM, and we got to go. Have a wonderful day.